Hey guys, welcome to Jitterbug Jukebox, our first official podcast interviewing the one and only Dutty Moonshine. Mike, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Professor Watson, if you didn't already know.
And I am Dukeskellington, and it is a pleasure to finally have you here, dude. I feel like we know each other already.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's good, definitely.
Yeah.
So go ahead. We want to kind of switch off and bounce back some questions from you, if that's cool. I think Deuce got the first question for you.
Yeah.
Cool. Fire away.
So, all right. So first off, first question for you we have is, what got you involved into the electro swing scene to begin with in the first place?
I'd like to think I was doing it before the electro swing scene technically existed. Can you guys just check really quickly? Am I echoing because I'm in a reverby room?
No, you sound okay.
Okay,
Did you hear an echo?
Yeah, so...
you're in a kitchen, so I guess you're going to get a little more echo than the other room, but yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, cool. Well, I started like remixing a lot of swing with an old crew of mine called the Disc Jockey Circus, and we remixed like a lot of swing and gypsy stuff. And when we all separated to go our different ways, I decided to carry on along that path doing the swing and gypsy stuff. And then I met Furley, the original partner. But like I'd never even heard of Caravan Palace and Parastella, and they weren't even that massive. Like I mean, they were established, but they weren't. You know, you could get them for like 1,500 quid easily for the whole band sort of thing back then. Now it's, I mean, you're looking at like 50,000 without breaking a sweat. But what are we getting now? What is it? Yes, I mean, I don't know. Like I was dabbling around with the idea of it, and I did a lot of like burlesque and vaudeville still nights, and a lot of circus work, and that meant like I knew the swing scene, I knew the idea of like klezmer sound as well, the gypsy jazz, and I just like a bit of dirty raving as well. I did a lot of warehouse parties, like lots of illegal raves and stuff in England, and then I just want to fuse the two together, and that's kind of, I don't know, like I was definitely one of the first in England to be doing it.
Wow, that's dope, man. So what year was that essentially? I'm just curious, like around what time?
8 years maybe. 8 years ago is when I first started my own stuff. I think it's going to turn 7 soon. So yeah, about 8 years ago, I started messing around with it. But yeah, yeah. Dutty.
And 8 years ago, 'cause, you know, we're looking at it from like the U.S. perspective, but like 8 years ago, what was the UK? Was it poppin' at that time? Were people like absorbing it, or were you guys just like trailblazing? And
this was crazy. Like, so I remember the first night I had, which I like to argue was the first electro swing night in the country, and I'll happily I've got the event page still on Facebook, so I'll chuck it out there. And if anyone can disprove me, then crack on. But so I did this party and I had this idea. And literally, the bio says like, we're going to remix all this stuff. We're going to try this out. And it's really funny hearing the bios and like some of the stuff we were writing, not knowing the term electro swing existed. And on ticket sales, so I didn't think there were that many people. We got this really cool jazz club under some railway arches. I think it fit just shy of 300 people, and we had to turn like 1,000 people away, like just turn 1,000 people away. And I was like, okay. And it was like, so we obviously knew there was something popular to do. But yes, I mean, it was really good in the old days because people really liked the idea of the sound, but there wasn't huge amounts of acts to choose from. So you kind of did have the run of it. There was like, I mean, there was myself, there was the correspondents, there was Mr. B, the gentleman rhymer, and obviously Chris Tofu, who's like him and Nick Hollywood being the like sort of, I don't know, you could call them the UK pioneers for the sound, I suppose, like for what they were doing.
That was Electro Swing Club, right? That was what they were.
That's what they run, yeah. But the worldwide Electro Swing Club is not the same, even though they share the same name. Like Chris did it first, and Typo Boy carried it on, letting the UK. I don't know the politics, and I'm going to be careful what I say there.
Yeah. And Max Pasham, I worked with Max Pasham in the past, so I know a little bit about the Electro Swing Club history.
Dope. Thanks, man. That was actually very historically fascinating.
I had a question in response to that as well about the start of how you got into it, but also your name, Dutty Moonshine. What does that mean, or where did that come from?
So do you not understand the word Dutty?
No, we're American.
Dude, no, you never heard that word, man. You are our intro to the word Dutty, actually.
When I toured Canada and America a couple of years ago with Danny, and we actually did this gig in Vancouver, and there was a big like Rasta Yardi Jamaican sound technician, and he really enjoyed the set, and he comes up and he was like, what's the name of your act? Like, what's the name? We were like, oh, it's Dutty Moonshine, and he started cracking up like because he loved it, and he got it, and everyone looked at us and they were like, oh, Dutty's a real word then, like. And now it didn't actually occur to me that you guys on this side of the pond don't know the word Dutty. it comes from like Jamaican sound system culture. So if you have like a dutty rhythm, it's like a dirty rhythm. So dirty essentially.
Okay.
But it's not it's not as simple as saying dirty. So like if you like a lot of dancehall acts, they'll talk about doing the dutty wine, and that's about the women like boot shaking and grinding and that sort of stuff. So dutty's this sort of like, I mean, it's dirty, but on like a Jamaican tip. But it comes from all the jungle music and dancehall and.
So it's like a Jamaican slang word then.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. So I mean, so then if you want to know the meaning of Dutty Moonshine, the idea what we came up with it is we were trying to find an old word that represented, like prohibition, vaudeville, whatever, and we wanted a new word to reflect on like new age rave culture. So we were just patching words together until we did Dutty Moonshine, and that was like we thought the funniest thing in the world when we were drunk.
That's awesome.
That's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah, it's great.
To be honest with you, I find myself doing that a lot too, because Electro Swing is sort of that, dude.
Totally. And there's loads of names for that. Loads of names, and like even what's like your name of your night, Swingtronic. You know what I mean? Essentially, you've done exactly the same there. You created a new word, which is
because the whole thing with Swingtronic, I guess, is that it's a hybrid event. So it's a vintage night, and then it's also Electro Swing night. So we kind of combine the two together.
Yeah, but yeah, same fusion, same theory behind the name, Dutty Moonshine. But Dutty being, because obviously England's got such a huge sort of Jamaican and black culture over here. I suppose there are some words that leak into our slang that I don't realise that other countries don't have.
Yeah, like rude boy.
Yeah,
that's Jamaican slang. It's become normalized everywhere.
So, you want to move on?
Yeah. So wait, so as we're talking about Dutty Moonshine, can
you just say Dutty Moonshine? Can we hear how you say it?
Dutty Moonshine. Is that right?
That's all right. We got. Do you know? You ever heard of an act called Ugly Duckling?
What's that?
You ever heard of an act called Ugly Duckling?
Yes, of course.
We were doing. You not heard of Ugly Duckling?
I haven't myself. No.
Oh right. Kind of like Jay.
He's more into hip hop than I am.
I'm an old rapper. I could bust a freestyle for you right now, dude. I've been doing hip hop for years.
We were recording with Dizzy, getting Dizzy to do some samples and stuff. He was doing some stuff for the management company. And he was doing do a soundbite of Dutty Moonshine, and he couldn't say Dutty. He kept saying Doody, and it was like trying to describe it. It's like nutty, like peanuts, nutty with the D.
Yeah,
nutty. Yeah.
Sick. Okay, well,
you gotta have the accent to it. It makes it better.
I'll try. I'll try my best, brother. But
Chad, you've got it. Chad, you got it, mate. You're there.
Absolutely great. So since we're on the subject, pardon if this is a negligent, ignorant question coming from us, but we don't know, like, who Dutty Moonshine. I've heard it as an umbrella term. I've heard it as an individual term.
Right.
Would you mind elaborating a little bit on what Dutty Moonshine is?
Yes. It was originally a duet, which was me and Furley, who's now called Furley. Sorry, Furley's his surname. Is what we call him. He's now got a solo act called Shimmers. He left after 3-4 years doing it because he wanted to just travel the world. He's actually living in America right now. He's got an American passport. So after doing New Zealand for a year, he's in Texas.
Wow.
Tell him to holler at us.
Yeah, right.
We'll help him out in LA.
You could completely fly him over cheap, like for a cheap set or something. It's not far. Anyway, so yeah, it was me and Furley originally, and then Furley left. And not long after, a guy called Danny Wav joined Dutty. So at one point there was 3 of us. So it was me and Furley, then it was me, Furley, Danny. Furley left, so then it's me and Danny. And after a year we were doing some cool tours, like we did China, and we
sorry.
PG guys.
Okay.
There you go.
America and Canada, but then we were kind of like going in different directions and where to go, and he was like going on this more heavy drum and bass dubstep tip, which I really like. It wasn't quite suiting the Electro Swing sound, and already Dutty Moonshine's already too nasty as it is. And then so it just became me and a big band that was on sort of like on a part-time basis, and the big band is a really large version of the Dutty Moonshine thing. It's like a 12 to 14 man big band version,
awesome.
basically.
Yeah, total big band, yeah.
So yeah, essentially, I'm Dutty Moonshine now. Originally was me and Furley, then me and Danny. I'm the member that's carried it on going, basically.
So with that being said, are you okay with people calling you Dutty Moonshine? Because I know it happens all the time. They're like,
I get called Dutty a lot at festivals and stuff. They'll be like, "Oh, where's Dutty?" Or if there's another. You ever heard of a band called Slamboree?
Yes.
Yes.
Is called Mike as well. So if we're ever at the same place, like I'll get called Dutty, and he gets called Freo, which is a surname.
I actually did a little mashup of their Festival's Not Dead track.
Oh, wicked.
And I turned it into a drum and bass tune halfway through, and I drop it in sets. Yeah,
have you heard the Dutty version of it?
I don't think I have, so we need to trade.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome to hear.
We need to trade after this interview.
Like it's kind of like an acid ravey breaks version. It's weird. It's cool.
Dope.
Nice.
Dope. Cool.
So I wanted to ask you, I don't know, we feel here in America that we're a little behind the times when it comes to electro swing, and that we're kind of slow to get behind the electro swing movement. Why do you think that is? Or do you feel that way, and why?
Yeah, so I have actually thought about this, and from like a first-hand encounter of what the scene's like in both America and Canada, and you both have similar things. I know you're separate countries, but you know there's a similarity in the music thing. And
yeah.
It's this. I think the initial problem is the size of your country, because all your communities, your electricity communities, are all miles apart. It's a bloody day's commitment to get anywhere. Like, you know, whether you're flying or driving, or you can't even get a train.
Yeah,
so
right.
So like the Chicago, Detroit scene, that's really steampunky, and so the people that go there, they're really committed, but they really dress really well. It's amazing. But then you go all the way to, like, say, California, and everyone's got like I felt it was a slightly older crowd, and they were really like into their circus and cross-dressing, and it was all a bit more like Rocky Horror meets, I don't know, like West Coast Cali flavor, and it was crazy. But then you
that
go like
Burning Man scene a little bit. Yeah.
Toronto, they're really into like dancing, and there's very young crowds, and Montreal was like full of lots of French, like similar people to French. That was a lot more like playing Europe, it was like playing Montreal actually. And so Vancouver was odd. It was cool, but it was odd. And like, so you're so far apart that you don't have you're not interbreeding. You're not swapping gigs. You're not swapping contacts. Or if you are, it's not happening as much as in England it was. So we as a community and Europe, I suppose, are just. It's not. I can get a train to Paris like quicker than I can get to the north of England from where I live now. Like I could just hop on a train and be in, you know, the capital of France. So with that access means that we bleed over a lot more of, like, you know, when you meet up with a DJ and stuff, you swap hard drives. You know, you swap tunes. This, that, that. Sure, you can do it on the internet, but it's something different when you're having a few beers and gigging with each other all the time. Like over here, we've got our festival circuit as an extended family. Like it's always the same group at different festivals. Does that make sense? So you get to see. Everybody like that. You guys are so far apart.
The geographic location is a big factor. I think you're right.
Yeah, I also think that America's not the best at experimenting with genres. Sometimes I think your mainstream culture is a lot more gripped onto like stuff like hip hop, and which is obviously fantastic music. But like it's harder, I think, for you guys to bust a new genre. Whereas I think that Europeans are used to experimenting with different stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, but the thing is, you guys lead the field in other areas. Like when it comes to like glitch hop and stuff, that's your thing. And when it's track and stuff, like you guys have got that area nailed, and that's cool because we struggle with that. So you can breed new genres, but I just think in America it's not as I don't know, just not as experimental as it could be. I mean, there are the people, but it's
we don't take the risks, I guess, as much.
You guys to build a trend because it's so hard because each state is like a bloody another country, and it's like every city so far from another. You know, the train to London from here takes me 2 hours, and I'll go past 6 cities. Like, you guys can sit on a train for 6 hours and not see one city.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
One major city, anyways. Yeah.
And you know what it kind of sounds to me like too is like the electro swing scene. It was sort of like this idea that was born, and it just caught on like wildfire because of the proximity of everybody in Europe. And you know, that's how movements work. It's like a buzz, it's like an energy, and it just and it can catch fire. And for the US, we don't have that connectivity, that proximity, and it probably I'm imagining it's going to catch fire, and I'm predicting
soon. I think so.
Yeah, so, I just think we're a little behind.
Well, there's another couple of factors. So, you know, so back to that space issue is, you know, you need the public to catch it. So a lot of your DJs, I see them on the forums and the Facebook stuff. They're passionate. They know their knowledge. You guys know everything we know because you've got the internet. But you need your public to know that. And then the other one that's been an advantage to us is because it was coined. It started in France technically with Wagram Records when they coined the compilation album. Because the pioneers and inventors, Caravan Palace and Parastello and Take 5, Club Des Beluges, because those guys are European anyway, they'd already built their own scenes as bands, so that was already like, basically. So I think, yeah. And I think Americans would laugh quite a lot. A majority would laugh if you saw some of the European bands. Like I see some of these guys and shit. I remember who was I watching? I went and saw the Pep Show Boys. I thought, oh, they're pretty big. Like, you know, they've got a big following on SoundCloud. I'll check out the Pep Show Boys at Boomtown. And I watched it and I was like, this would not fly in America. Like, this would not. Like, it had a really, there's something weird about European stuff that's like, it's just not, you guys are a lot more, I don't know, just a bit more cool, a bit more like.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some European bands that are really corny and kitschy, and I'm like, it's okay, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's not like, I mean, UK, it doesn't, you know, obviously that sort of stuff doesn't stand in UK only, either, sorry, but I mean, Europe is such a big consumer of the genre, you know, they're the ones that are packing out huge stuff.
That's awesome, man. Actually, that really segues into the next thing we wanted to ask you. You're talking about festivals and you know, different acts you've seen. What has been your favorite show that you've played at or festival?
Ooh, shit.
That's tough.
See, there was one. I'm going to put it down to two, which has got one last year. Both were big band shows, so none would. I mean, I've got some cool DJ ones, but the big band ones are like, they've been the special ones, like the really, really special. I mean, I've done cool stuff with DJ, like Support Chinese Man and Grammatics UK debut and all that sort of stuff. And that's cool, but like the big band shows, Glastonbury Festival, which is our largest festival, it's nearly 250,000 people. It's huge.
I hear it's sick.
We played the main stage of one of the fields right after Radio 1, and Radio 1 in this country is like the biggest radio station. It's the entire country. It's huge. It's name your biggest station. It's that basically. And they did a Radio 1 takeover. We played straight after it, and that was huge. That was thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Like if you look if you type Dutty Moonshine Glastonbury on YouTube, you'll see it. You'll be like, that's a big crowd. But then it's tied with a gig at Boomtown, and Boomtown Festival is, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest pushers in the entire world for electro swing as a scene. They have an entire field/arena area dedicated to doing vintage remix music, and they're the best. They get anybody and everybody flying in from all sorts of weird countries. Like, I mean, I bumped into some friends of yours. I can't say their real names. I can't think what their DJ names are.
Gentlemen Callers of Los Angeles. Yeah.
So they could, you know,
they're great.
So Boomtown we did a main stage show, the main stage of the festival, and we did it 1:30 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I thought, oh no, it's gonna be like 10 people, but we packed the entire. You just couldn't get more people in. It was packed, and I was like, just I felt like at that time at a festival, that kind of hangover. So those two shows.
Big shout out to Gentlemen Callers, man. They're good guys. They're really
massive.
Fuck yeah, dude. And that sounds incredible.
Ooh. Definitely.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
That's what we wanted to say.
I'll get it.
I also wanted to continue with the favorites. We like to hear some favorites. What are your favorite electro swing artists currently?
Smoke Joe the Kid, always and ever. They are the best. They are. If I had half the talent they have, I'd be internationally massively famous. I don't know why they're not. I think they're just French, and the French are just like, and just so cool, and je ne sais quoi, just being very nice and artistic, and they're okay to marketing, but no, they don't sell themselves well enough, I don't think.
I had Smokey Joe and the Kid play Swingtronic when I had it at this place called the Pally House in West Hollywood. Nobody had any idea what to expect. They blew people's minds away. They were like, who are these guys? I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're seeing with 30 people right here in this little hotel lobby. They played to massive crowds in Europe. So yeah, dude, mad respect to Smokey Joe and the Kid.
Yeah, and also, I also think the music, like, regardless of how amazing they are live, their music is just like, it's so much more creative than like a huge chunk of the electro swing out there. And I'm thinking, you're doing like the real stuff. Like, they're really messing around with solos and like loads of amazing samples and drum fillers. Like, they're just killer. I'm like Caravan Palace and that, like, yeah, great. It's like, you know, that's like in the major label of dance music. Yeah, sure. Of course they're big, you know what I mean? They're great, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Smokey Joe and the Kid, though, that's your slew them stuff. That's just like killer.
Awesome, man.
Basically,
absolutely.
I also actually want to talk about an underdog quickly. Oh God, I know the real names. Cat Jam, I think are going to be really good. They're going to be messing around with stuff that you've been messing around with, Duke. Which is that bass house garage vibe. I've heard a bunch of prototypes. I've seen them live, and I think Cat Jam are going to be if they carry on the way they're going, I think the stuff they're going to make is going to be one of the things that help bridge the gap with like getting the kiddies involved. With like, you know, this is sick. I think there's too cheesy stuff that people aren't connecting the young crowd. And I think people
we've got some cat jam coming up in the podcast.
Absolutely. So I wasn't going to mention it, but since they came up, I'm actually working on a cat jam collaboration.
Oh, there you go. I told you. There you go.
So,
match made in heaven.
Yeah, dude, and it's already coming along. It's already a banger. And they're up on our list in the next few interviews. We're going to be having them on too. So that's rad.
Yes, indeed.
Those guys are cool as hell too. I really enjoy chatting with them, you know.
Yeah, no, they're cool. They're really, really cool. Yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
They done us a few times, but various gigs stuff. This year I played with them at Boomtown, Manchester. Where else? I think maybe somewhere else.
Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, I live in a dead area of England that's got nothing nearby for Electro Swing. There's this really weird black patch with nothing, and they live in the middle of it.
Is it Essex? Is that where they live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Essex. Okay.
Yeah, we got to learn. I mean, maybe Marshall knows it a little better. I'm trying to learn my UK geography a lot better, especially for when a tour happens over there. I want to be on my game, you know.
Yeah.
So
definitely, we'd love to come over there and kind of collaborate.
The two things you aspire to, if you want to come in, this goes to any act anywhere in the world that's not in England. The two gigs you need to aspire to get is Swingamajig, which is the Electro Swing Festival in Birmingham, run by Tom and Rich of Cat in the Hat and Electro Swing Circus, and then also Boomtown, and that's the Mayfair district is the Electro Swing. It's huge. It's thousands of people go, and the main stage in Mayfair is wicked as well. It's not a small one. They're the two shows. They're in the summer, so it makes touring a real struggle, because then touring the rest of the summer, weekends either side is hard. It's easy to get club gigs and it's get festival gigs. But those two, May and August, are the ones you want.
Yeah, May and August. That's what it's all like.
That's dope, man.
Summer months.
Well, yeah, those are two that we have our eyes on, and we've been having some talks. So
sure.
we'll see what comes out of that. But we definitely want to come join you guys. And that actually segues into the next question, which is, when do you? Well, and I think you've already been over here. So I guess the question is, when next?
When do we get you again?
Yeah. When does the US get to have the Dutty Moonshine?
I was meant to do October. This one just gone, but I had to pull it, didn't I? I was really bummed about that. I timed it really badly. I was a fool. I was doing it just before Halloween, so I had loads of Halloween shows, and I was like, I can't play 8 cities in one weekend. So the money wasn't great. I could get some shows, it was cool, but it wasn't like that, and the visa problems. It wasn't. I was like, oh man, it's just not going to be financially worth it. So I was going to actually pick some of the Americans' brains about when's a good season to be gigging, like, around nightclubs and stuff, and then I'll pick that month and come. I mean, I've got the contacts. I know how. I know I can stroll straight into it. It's just about making sure, I get all the shows.
Well, let's talk offline about that. We'll get everybody, all the people doing it out here involved, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, I think LA West Coast is definitely due for our own kind of like festival situation, like maybe a mini Coachella kind of thing, or a swing-majig or whatever with everybody that could come out.
Yeah,
because everybody wants to come out and they all want to get paid a lot of money. So we're like, all right, well, let's make it worth it.
Yeah.
Now we've completely trashed our pound. That might be a lot easier to do. Our currency just go like this. So yeah, maybe a bit easier. I think the problem is the problem I've got is I live off it professionally, and I have done for years. So if I'm not earning decent money, I can't just go and sofa surf and earn enough to pay my flights and stuff. I need to earn enough to pay my rent at home and justify whatever. I don't mind earning less when I go abroad because of currency exchange and stuff like that. But the problem I have is it has to be financially viable, or it's just not worth me doing it.
Yep.
We totally understand that too. I mean, we don't want to do anything for free either. So
yeah. Yep. So
can I do the?
Go for it.
So when you record and when you produce your albums, do you work with a lot of different artists when you're doing that, or is that all you? And then also, what is your favorite track that you've created or produced?
Okay. So a lot of the production was done by Daniel Furley, the early works and stuff. So I'm only some of the newer stuff. Did you ask what do I use when I produce and the artist? Is that right?
Yeah. Or what artists do you hang out with?
We always try to work with other artists. We always try to, because it's been good. Like if you look at previous stuff, like the debut album thing, I mean, it had Hype Man Sage, who's now become one of the frontmen for the big band because he's that good. And I also worked with Kitten in the Hip, There was a chick called Mika Miller on the album.
Okay.
Cut the Rock's quite a big one, actually. Do you know the song Back Once Again for the Renegade Master, D4 Damager?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know it?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yes.
he wrote like when he was under a different pseudonym, Wildchild. And then if you look at older releases, like we worked with Mr. B, the General Rhymer, and Scuba Roots. We worked with Captain Flat Cap, a really cool band. Worked with them a few times. So yeah, look, always have to have some Dutty sounds, but always have to, just collab, because lots of creative brains is good creative brains, basically.
Yeah, sure.
Favorite track. So unfortunately, this is not this way you asked favorite track I've done. Unfortunately, it's not out there here yet. It will be within a month. There's a track called Smoky Blues. This Smoky Blues is a 12-bar. How do you describe it? It's like 3 different tunes in one. It's like everything from like a traditional, very mellow, jazzy, bluesy sort of start that goes off into some weird off-count stuff, and then into some crazy jungle, but it's all in a 12-bar rather than the normal 8 or 16. So that's great. From DJ point of view, it makes you like go. So it's a bit weird to mix, but I mean that's the favourite one I've had written. That's been written with a few other people. A guy called Binge, Hype Man Sage, Maria Lavu, the vocalist in the big band, and then also the brass section. Oh, and Martin Bader from the. Do you ever heard of an electro swing band called Swingers Noir?
No.
So they're really
Should we
cool.
look them up?
They're really cool live, but we've nicked their pianist. I mean, so the Smoky Blues song, you're talking about different artists. I mean, on that track alone, there's like 6 or 7 artists have collaborated on it.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's always good to collaborate because small brain good. And also like Duke was saying when he cat jam, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Like if you find the right chemistry to work with different people, it's just voila.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
absolutely. Great. So let's see, where are we on here now?
I actually wanted to ask you.
Oh wait,
go ahead.
It was the production, wasn't it? We're gonna drop.
You want to do that? Okay.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna say what his.
So actually, you are actually about to segue into this. It sounded like, and this is more just like the production question. If this was like the stuff I was into, it would be all this. But we're trying to make this entertaining for everybody. So I was just curious what you use to produce. If you have a favorite software like Ableton Live or any plugins.
I use Ableton. I'm an Ableton guy, but I have a funny process. So when Furley was part of Dutty, everything was done on Ableton. But now Furley's not. It's half done on Ableton, but it's finished off in Nuendo, which is a really weird program you wouldn't normally produce with. It's using a lot of like mixed sounds for like bands and stuff like that. So it's not as quick and easy as like using Logic or something like that. But it's just cool. It's really good to get a polished sort of more organic sound rather than such a digital sort of harsh sound. But then also sometimes I do get a friend to help out with some bass lines, and that's done through Logic, and he uses Oligarch, the Space Synth Oligarch, which is a really strange one. Not too many people know. It's in Russian, which is a bit weird, but it's amazing noises.
Wow.
There you go.
Are those all those growls and grumbles and that kind of thing? Is that what that is?
I think if you can hear something, if you go to. No, again, it's all on the new album. Okay, yeah, no, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait for this new album.
What you keep talking about this new album. When's your new album dropping?
When's it dropping?
Can I have a question on sport? I'm actually going to do a crowdfunder because I've hit a brick wall.
Nice.
I'll be releasing that hopefully maybe this weekend. Hang on, not this weekend, like 7 days. So
we'll try to promote that for you as well on our podcast. So let us know. We'll send the link out for that.
We'll feature.
Basically, I've hit a brick wall when it's just got too expensive, and I'm broke. I need some extra funds to help finish off the album. I need to some of the ways we were recording just the quality wasn't good enough, and I was like, to be honest, if we're playing some of these main stages of festivals, this needs to be recorded very well. So unfortunately, got to do that. So I can do a crowdfunder. I'd like to get it out before New Year's, but it's more likely going to be end of January, I imagine.
Awesome.
Think about that. Hang on, what's the date? Yeah, probably like mid to the end of January. Which is late. It's a shame. I wanted it out earlier, but just stuff gets in the way. People are gigging. People are like, because it's a big band album as well. It's not just me. It's the big band, and there's trying to get 12, 14 people recorded. It's like,
That's massive, man. That's going to be so cool. I love being a swing dancer. I love that big band sound. So I'm really stoked to hear what you got.
Okay, well, I'll be interested from a swing guy's point of view, like what you think of it. I mean, I'll make sure you guys get promos before it goes out and stuff. But it's like we really tried to do stuff with this album that's not really done in the electro swing world, which is like key changes and time signatures, different time signatures, and polyrhythms, and all sorts of different stuff. Some of it's going to be really anti-DJ friendly. You're going to have to be like an old school hip hop turntablist head to mix it properly. And then
awesome.
stuff can be really easy to mix. There's some garagey tracks, some ghetto swing style stuff, some drum and bass influence stuff. But yeah, there's some that's like in a 5 and a 4, one that's in a 3/4 but goes into a 4/4 polyrhythm. It's like trying to do what swing used to do. You know, swing had so much variety and spice. We're trying to do that with dance music.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, I think what you hear now, a lot of DJs are just playing like the best of kind of stuff, right? But when you heard a band, they weren't just doing all swing songs. They had cha-chas, they had foxtrots, they had waltzes.
But it's also like DJs have got, you know, what makes DJing such an accessible sort of field of music is the formula that everything's in, an 8-bar or a 4-bar, and it's got 4/4 beats. Everything mixes with everything and all that sort of stuff. And like, so I think some of these songs are just never going to get played out by DJs. Like, we've just shot ourselves in the foot. But then I'd rather only half got played by DJs. Unfortunately, we lose half a market with the other album, but other part of the album. But you know, it's cool. I'd rather be creative and have some fun than just make a house album with some samples on it.
Awesome, man. And we super appreciate that too. The creativity that you're bringing to the table is kind of unmatched. Yeah. I think it's unmatched. No.
Sure. And you know, one of the things we have different segments on our podcast that we're working on. Obviously, this is the interview segment, but one of the segments that we have on our podcast is about electro swing tunes that work for swing dancers and people who are into the whole classic swing sound. And Marshall being like that's his thing right there. That's sort of one of his segments of the show. Yeah. And so that's one of the things that we listen for. You know, we're into the DJ culture, we're into all that, but we're also just originally we're swing kids from the 90s, you know, like we got caught up in bands like Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and Real Crown Review.
I love Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. Cherry Pop and Daddies as well. That's my jam.
Yes, we were, you know, that was our sound, you know, and it's so cool to see the synthesis. I talk about this all the time because I got into raves later, and now it's all full circle, and hip hop. It's all like, I feel like this is the genre of everything I've ever loved. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
So, let's see.
We should end it soon, I think, but I wanted to ask another favorite, and this, you might know this right off the top of your head, but what's your favorite electro swing track that's not your own that you like, your most played?
What do I, ooh, I'm not going to give it, no, I'm going to be careful because there's some songs I don't want to give away. In fact.
Yes, I understand. I understand. Give them. Don't, do what you're comfortable with, brother.
No. We're just curious.
Can I open my Serato up and tell you? Because that'll give me, I'll be able to think of something better if I can look it up.
The favorite song that you play that's not your own? Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm just opening my Serato. I have the current new stuff I'm listening to, and I'll be able to tell my favorite.
Oh, killer. Okay.
So if you just give me 2 seconds, I'll tell you. What's your favorite, Marshall?
Ooh, question. I like a lot of like those famous songs that you were talking about, you know, the Parstellar, Booty Swing, and that's kind of what got me into it, honestly. Right now, I also like a lot of a G-Swing. A Digga-Digga-Doo song is so good.
G-Swing, God, that's old school. Do you know what's amazing?
I know, I'm an old school guy, man.
It's amazing you say G-Swing, because that guy's American, and he was around before Caravan Palace, and yet what happened?
Really? I didn't know that.
I've just worked out what it is my favorite song.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, cool. I'm gonna give you my favorite song offline, one of the new ones, because no one fucking knows about it. So you're gonna get that offline. But the other favorite song that I will say right now that I'm loving the shit out of, and I can't wait for them to put out more music, is Tuxedo Junction's Sing 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 remix.
I actually used to live with one of the guys about 5 months ago. I lived with one half of them.
Wow.
That's how small and inbred the UK scene is.
That's great.
I'm loving that. I'm loving that.
I've got more than that song. There's quite a few. He gave me the whole promo list. Like, so I've actually got I know what you're going to be getting over the next few months. It's cool. I really like what we're doing. So yeah, my favourite is Howlers' version of Jumper. Didn't you do, Duke? You did
a version of Jumper.
Wait, who is the artist on that again?
Howler. Howler. Owla.
Howler.
I'm familiar with this stuff, but did you say did I do like a remix? Is that your question?
No, Howler did a song called "Jumpin'." If you go to SoundCloud, it's a free download. It's called "Jumpin'," and I think you did a version of it. I think it's Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Oh, Jumpin' Jack.
Yeah. So he's done a version called "Jumpin'," but his version, yours is amazing with
Yes. So that's coming out, and I'm not trying to plug, but since you brought it up, that's coming out on Ragtime Records in the next month. Our version.
Easy.
I also love their version. I've played their version at many parties. That's a great tune.
Yeah, I think it's just heavy. It's crazy. It just does the job for me. It's got a big, nice swingy thing. It's got that big American swing sound, which I mean, you got, you know, when you say swing, you think America, like, you know, it's got a American swing sound, but when it drops, it's like, that's a UK bass.
You know what I love? Yeah, Howler and WBBL. I don't know if it was about Wobble or
Wobble.
WBBL.
Wobble, yeah.
They've done some collabos in that vein. There's also the Howler.
That tune I just mentioned is Wobble. It's Howler and Wobble. It's both of them thinking about it. Howler,
right.
Wobble, Jump.
Yes, it is. I love that tune, man. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's beastie.
Absolutely. It's great.
Awesome. That's great, man.
Okay, so I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, so we got one final question for you, man, because we actually have a lot more on our list, but man, this has been so fascinating. We could probably go all night. So when we hang out, either in Europe or in LA or somewhere in the US, dude, we'll stay up later and have more conversation.
I'm sure we will.
So here's the question: what is the hardest, most challenging part about being an electro swing artist?
The lack of gigs. It's really hard to make a living.
Best answer.
Yes.
I think if I can quote Mac, the producer, guy from Finland I was talking to recently, he says there's no money in electro swing. He says, as you know, there's no money in electro swing. Well, there is to some, but it's not the easiest. It's really, 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 really hard to make it. So if you get it, the hardest aspect is you've got to make sure you've got a job. You can't just like think you're going to quit DJing and do whatever. Keep a job and try to get yourself international. Like come up with something original. In fact, scrap what I just said. Come up with an original sound with an electro swing. Swing artists are all boundaries. When you're talking Glenn Miller, Benny Goodman, Ella Fitzgerald, you know, it doesn't matter. God, the list goes on. Do you know what I mean? And how do you come up with something original electro swing? Because too many artists are making the same stuff. They're just regurgitating cheap versions of Power Stella, which is cool. Power Stella, great, well produced. Don't regurgitate, make cheap versions of it. Make your own stuff, do an original sound. That's the hardest thing. Smokey Joe and the Kid, very original. Chinese Man, very original. Like you think about the different things. Cat in the Hat's even got his own different style. You know, it's one of, you know, who else sounds like him? I think that's the hardest bit. How do you do something original and don't sound like regurgitated? Word I shan't say.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Awesome, brother. Well, dude, it's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sticking around through everything today, and hopefully we'll be in touch soon and we can chat over a pint.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll be letting you know when this goes live. So
yeah, please do. I'll link it. I'll share it around and stuff. That'd be cool.
All right, say bye to your fans, Dutty Moonshine.
Peace, guys. Peace.
Peace, buddy. It's good seeing you, dude.
Ciao.
Have a good rest of your night and get some rest.
Yeah, later, brother.
All right.